Right now, as you said that, I remember running away from my house as a kid.
Yeah.
Like grabbing unos trapos and just throw them in a backpack and running away. And now that I think about it, I've always been running.
Yeah.
I've always been running, and it got to a point in my life where I ran for reals. You know,
like when I ask you like who you are now, did it just dawn on you that you may not be running as much as you did before? Was that what gave you a pause?
Yeah. I feel like I like who I am now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it has taken a lot for you to get where you are right now. So, yeah, man. When you talk about being a father, you know, man, you know, like I'm one too. So I can feel you when you say like I'm a father now. That's a prime directive for us as a motivator. You know,
It's a game changer when you have a child. It's a game changer. Like and you know, my first daughter, I had her as a fugitive.
That you were on the run when she came into your life.
Yeah, and maybe like 5-6 months in, the mother was like, "Here's your baby, I'm out." So I was on the run with that child, you know.
So basically, you got all the responsibility on top of the responsibility of keeping yourself
safe,
and free.
And it was a beautiful thing, you know, because I feel like in my weakest moments, I could turn around and look at that child, and it was all love, and it gave me that warm feeling, and it gave me hope, I think.
So that's a motivator now. That's where you are right now.
Yeah.
Can you talk about your music? I mean, I think that has been a vehicle that has led you to here, right? So tell us a little bit about your music, and you know, you have a long career. I mean, I remember just listening to you in the past and like seeing your transformation from being out there, living the life that you were singing about. Not like, you know, I mean, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And then now, expressing something different. You know, can you tell us a bit about that?
Well, you know what? Like I've been doing it for like a month, 2 months now. I've been like, you know, I hooked up with a publishing company, and I've been looking at my songs, and like the titles and everything I was doing. I record so much that it's like I don't listen to Conejo.
Yeah.
I just do Conejo, and then I don't listen to him.
Yeah.
And
so for you, like your rap persona, Conejo, is it basically a mask or a character that you kind of created for yourself?
I think I did. I think it took a lot to make him, you know. Conejo's a villain, super villain. And I remember from last time when we were talking about ghosts, the fantasmas, and all these things like that, right?
Yeah.
So I'm doing this publishing, getting these songs ready to, you know, to get them linked up with BMI, and I'm looking at my song titles, and I got songs that were like Ghost Man, you know, The Ghost of CON. I have an album called Ghost Town, and I was like, oh shit, that's crazy. I'm just like looking at these song titles, and I was just like,
is death basically like a frame and or like a subject matter that basically has been going on over and over again in a lot of the music you've been creating, basically?
It has, and it's weird because I want to live.
Yeah.
You know, I want to live so bad. I don't want nothing to get in the way of it. But for some reason, the subject matter is always that.
So what got you started in the music? I mean, was it just you? You know, let's start from the beginning. Like where are you from? Like where were you born?
I was born in Los Angeles. My parents, they didn't have no money, and like my mom was ready to go, and my dad ran into these nuns in LA.
Yeah.
And I need help, and they're like, bring her by. So they went to this hospital. It's like a nun hospital. It's called the Queen of Angels Hospital.
Yeah.
And that's where they filmed Freddy Krueger, like the you know, he's like in the bottom in the boiler room or whatever. That's that hospital.
Wow.
So I was born right there, and basically I started rapping in the 80s as a kid. I listened to all all hip hop.
Yeah.
Whatever was coming out, I was listening to it, whether it was from the East Coast, the West Coast, the Midwest. It didn't matter. We were just into like the music. But then, you know, the crack era came.
Yeah. That ate people. It just started eating people like zombies, basically.
And then right away the violence came with it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, meth is a stimulant, right? So
yeah.
Cocaine and meth will make people do shit.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a different drug.
I remember there's a tunnel that goes under the 10 freeway. The street is called Butlang. And I remember I was a kid and we would always, you know, la gente, they throw their couches there, their old dirty mattresses, they throw all these things there, you know, anything, refrigerators. And as a kid, we would go through there and just want to break things and things like that, right? And I remember there was a bunch of boxes, and then we opened these boxes and it was like thousands of crack pipes just there, like
new glass pipes or just used?
Yeah, glass pipes. So I'm like, I didn't know what they were. I was just like, hey, look at this, break it. We start crushing them and breaking them, but we're just like, now that I think about it, I'm like, someone put those there.
Yeah, there was those were a clavo for somebody, right? Like,
you know, it's like, it's just strange, you know, like,
I mean, if somebody hid those there, so if somebody walked in on you doing that shit, maybe you were gonna get in some shit, right? Back then.
Yep, and these were the days where we had like clubhouses on the side of the freeway. You know, and we had magazines like the ones you're not supposed to have, and we just hang out there, and then like the gang thing started becoming prevalent because I remember being a kid. I was a skater, I was a stoner, I had long hair. You know, like any kid, that's how you grew up, and that's how I grew up. Yeah, it wasn't different. I don't remember it being ugly. I remember having fun, and then
your normal was your normal. So you didn't know anything else, basically.
Yeah, and then I grew up by USC College, so we would go pool hopping. We'd go in these apartments and go swimming, and then, you know, go to the next one and next one, and then. But then when the gang thing came in, I always was rapping. You know, I was just making songs, backyard boogie stuff. You know.
Yeah.
So once I went that way, it was like, oh, let me write a quick little verse about the fellas.
So you started writing and singing about the people you were with,
my environment, and it's strange because I remember there was this gang that we were all right with. These girls would come down, right, and she was like, hey, my boyfriend has a record label, call him. And I was like, oh shit. It was a little card with a little B-boy on it, whatever. I called the dude, and this dude was from 18th Street.
Damn.
He was my enemy, you know, but this was some hip-hop shit. So he's like, come down, rap for me. I go over there and I rap for this dude. They're recording me on a tape deck. And that started everything, you know.
Yeah.
And to this day, he's my friend.
It's a weird thing.
And it's crazy because his name, they call him Chino, but actually he's Korean and Colombian.
But for Mexicans, you know, all agents are Chinos, you know, for Mexicans too. When you look back on some of those early songs, are they like memories? Are they like they're like a snapshot of the environment?
Yeah.
Do you would you sing about people that are not here anymore?
Yeah, it would.
Is some of the ghosts that you talk about?
You know what? In 91, they killed 17 of my friends that year. So I was just making songs. And
how old were you in 91?
I think in 91 I was like 16. I was like 16, and I remember going to a lot of funerals, and these funerals were like a celebration of death because, a couple people will be crying,
well, the music,
but everybody else was just like laughing, pounding, and then it was like get back. As soon as it was done,
vámonos.
Yeah,
back to it again.
Yeah, and we would just
no time for processing, no time for duelo, no time for nada.
Yes, and that's it. It just kept on going, and I felt like I would always almost hit rock bottom, but the music would save me every time.
Was it pulling you out of basically was it giving you an outlet for some of the shit you had inside you?
Yeah, it was, and plus when we would go to the studio, it was like it was in the loft area downtown, So it was like a little getaway, like.
So yeah, you would escape the life, just do that for a bit, and then come back.
And then come back with the new cassettes and give everybody cassettes, you know.
Did it give you an excuse, basically, to kind of start figuring out how to get out of it in a way? Or
I think it did, but I was like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I couldn't because
you couldn't commit the whole thing.
No, I couldn't. And,
what kept you from doing getting both feet out? What was holding you there?
Well, you know what it is? I think that just hanging out on the street is like a drug. It's addicting. And I think that when I think back in those days when I'll be hanging out on the corner, it's the freest I've ever been. I was like an eagle. I was free. Yeah. I was on the corner. It was dangerous, but I was free.
Dangerous freedom is what I like to describe Mexico as, and or any place like that, that risky place like that, where you have, you know, I am, you know, in this area, I know the normal. I'm part of the normal. I own the normal, and you know, we'll do a party here at 6 in the morning. The cops going to show up. That's what's going to happen. You know, this is Mexico, no. LA is pretty, you know, Mexicaneado, no.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get the need and or kind of like the, you know, I had some of that when I was working. You know, I would go out and go missing for months, and my family wouldn't know shit about me. You know, just working. And the whole aspect of, pero no vale verga, yo estoy libre, yo puedo hacer lo que quiera, like fucking Peter Pan and Neverland shit, you know? I get that aspect of it. You go from living that life and having the music kind of paired, you know, you're just no direction, or did you have some sort of direction? Like, where were you going with that?
I think everybody's dream in those days was to get a record deal. Yeah. But then I see that I wasn't getting one, so I was just like, almost like depressed about it, and I'll be like, man, fuck that, I'm just go.
It wasn't happening for you, so you're like getting really frustrated with it.
Yeah, and then I just go right back out to the street, and just act out in the street, and it gave me, I don't know, it's just the streets always giving me content.
Yeah,
like these turbulent areas have always given me content. I've been good at that.
So you go from being really upset of not getting opportunities in the music scene, you go back to the street and it gives you fucking material, of course, because you're fucking living that shit. You're not just thinking about it. And then it pushes you back to continue on the music.
And then my friends like it. You know, my friends over there, like, they're over there like smoking primos, you know, like weed with cocaine, and they're just like shh, and hearing my songs, and I could see how it's becoming part of them too. Yeah, it's starting to like.
I mean, did you get a moment where you would see them hear your music without you there, and you were like,
yeah. I remember that there was a situation once where we got invited to this football game, where it was all Florence versus all Watts, all the gangs from Watts versus all the gangs from Florence, and we're there at this park, right, and all of a sudden a car pulls up, boom, bumping, and it's my music, and I tripped out on it. I mean, I had cousins from Florence, that's why. Yeah. But it still tripped me out, like,
oh, shit. That's me fucking singing that.
Yeah. So
that's fucking weird.
And that's been the story. It's just been like.
So you're living this life where you're half in, half out. What happens? Like, what changed? What detonated you leaving that?
I feel that what changed everything was like I said, it like the environment possesses you. Yeah. And you get to the point where you're like, you've been there so much that you're like, let me show you how I do it, how I learned this, and you know, like, people are dying all the time. There's new faces coming in and out, and you know, you eventually, you're the one that steps up. You've been watching people step up, but now you step up, and that's when it goes all bad, because you just like laser focus on the negative. Yeah. And there's nothing that's going to change you.
So basically, you started assuming a leadership position somewhere where you were out there, and you're like, oh, este cabrón es el que manda, or este cabrón es el que va a hacer. Did you get into a position like that, basically?
I just felt like I was in a position where like I would take things into my own hands. Yeah. Like, watch out. Let me show you how you do this shit.
quítate.
Yeah.
Yo sigo, te voy a enseñar cómo, basically, yeah.
Just like someone did to me at one point, you know?
Yeah.
And then, like I said, people are dying, new faces coming in and out. We're playing this game with the law enforcement. So,
No, what was your interactions with law enforcement there? Like, I mean, imagine, yo fui un puerco, no, me vale madre. What was your relationship with the police there like? Were they harassing you a lot? Were they just
well, in those days, they were what they call the crash units. And,
crash units?
And they were like, they were just active. They would mobilize like a gang themselves, you know, and just the way their behavior, you know, like they were dirty, les valía verga.
Les valía verga. But like, I mean, did you feel discrimination, you know, all that shit?
I guess the thing is que with Mexicans, like we're always like we just deal with shit and that's it.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like, I was like, fuck them, y la verga and all that shit, fuck the LAPD and all that, but it was part of the game, you know?
Yeah, count mouse.
So it came with it. So it's like, no era nada que, it was out of the ordinary. Yeah, you know, they will abuse their authority, but we were doing the same shit too, you know?
Yeah.
So we're abusing the community. They're abusing their authority, we're abusing from the community. I don't know, I never took it that personal with them, you know?